Through all of October I will review a lot of different horror films, old and new, and the plan was of course to give you some awesome movie recommendations for the Halloween season. But it looks like we might also have a pick that's not all that amazing.
Jimmy, listen to me.
Yeah?
Thanks for including my movie as well.
Well, it is horrific.
It is, in a good way.
I'm not so sure about that, but how about we introduce ourselves first?
We are Venom.
Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Venom.
Shut up. And this is Sony's newest attempt to create its very own cinematic superhero universe. And when it comes to this film's teasing and credit scenes, first there's one mid-credit scene that's hinting at a sequel in such a cheap manner that it was pure cringe. And then as the final names of the closing credits are passing by, even Sony must have realized how ill-fated the whole attempt really was, so they decided to just advertise another movie altogether for the final end credit scene. Of course that's just my cynical interpretation and Venom isn't a complete train wreck, though it's not far from it. It has a very long and difficult production history, going all the way back to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 in 2007, in which Topher Grace played the character. A spin-off was planned for many years, the last time as part of the Mark Webb Spider-Man universe, but it all imploded with the disaster of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I think has some redeeming qualities, but that's another story. Of course, now that they rebooted a famous web-slinger once again and made it part of the MCU by making a deal with Marvel Studios, which are owned by Disney, everyone was very curious to find out how exactly this new Venom movie would turn out. Would there be a secret deal that makes it part of the MCU? Would Spider-Man or at least Peter Parker show up somehow? After all, Venom is a character whose origin is deeply connected with him in the comics. Deeply is actually the wrong word. Venom is a Spider-Man character, and this year it's also the 30th anniversary. So what crazy way would they go with the film? The answer is very easy. They just took the character and the idea of the symbiote and don't connect it to Spider-Man at all. Instead they just made a super generic anti-hero horror action movie. And it's not that the character of Venom without Spider-Man would automatically be generic, it's just that the script and the movie they came up with are. And before I tell you why, I have to point out that I'm into comics a little bit, but I'm no expert at all, and apart from some newer issues, I'm not really that familiar with the character of Venom. So all my criticism has nothing to do with them maybe butchering the source material. I'm simply talking about the movie. And the movie was directed by Ruben Fleischer, who also did a very good Zombieland and a very bad Gangster Squad. It stars the great Tom Hardy as the title character Venom and of course as its host as well. Eddie Brock is a good reporter who just has to mess with the wrong corporation, the Life Foundation, whose boss Carlton Drake, played by Riz Ahmed, is a combination of Elon Musk, Dr. Mengele and the Antichrist himself. He's just pure evil and as one-dimensional as you can get. The overall story is super simple and you have seen it often before, so I won't go into much detail here. The film's highlight is without a doubt Tom Hardy's crazy energetic performance and the over-the-top and really silly banter Eddie has with its new best friend / worst enemy. Venom is listed as action, horror and sci-fi on the IMDb, but you can certainly add comedy to that as well. Sometimes it is unintentional, but at its heart I think this really wants to be that throwback cheese fest of a superhero film. In that regard, the whole film feels very dated, as if it was made for another time, probably the late 90s or early 2000s. But to be honest, sometimes I miss this open silliness and willingness to go really bonkers. My favorite two superhero films of all time are still Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 and Tim Burton's Batman Returns. But, and this is a very big but and I cannot lie, those movies have stories and characters that work, and their own unique kind of style and feeling. Venom, on the other hand, apart from its nice body flavor that comes with Eddie and his partner in crime, feels very bland. Some moments of action are decent, but the whole finale on the other hand is just another CGI monster mash. And the moments in between are not memorable or clever either. There are so many cliché moments like the loud neighbor for example, who's listening to heavy metal until Venom shows up at his doorsteps. And as much as I enjoyed Hardy's commitment to go crazy, and of course he's also doing the Venom voice, both characters, Eddie Brock as well as Venom, aren't really working. And Eddie's fiancée at the beginning of the movie, Anne, played by Michelle Williams, is even worse. This isn't really a spoiler and it all happens at the very beginning of the film, but after Eddie tries to expose Drake and his evil corporation, who are basically killing people, they make sure that not just Eddie loses his job, but his girlfriend as well, who then isn't talking to him and maybe figuring out that Eddie's the good guy here, even if he did wrong by going through some of her stuff, and that she should maybe overthink the fact that she has worked for a firm that worked for Dr. Mengele. No, she just says that it's over and that's it. This made me really angry. This isn't a strong move in any shape or form, this is just lazy writing so that Eddie is losing everything he got. And here comes the next big problem. On several occasions the film tries to push the idea that Eddie is this loser guy, but there's really no strong evidence for that. He lost his job, girlfriend and apartment because he tried to fight a big evil corporation. Sure, he should have been more clever, but that doesn't make him a loser. And this is a huge problem later on when they try to explain Venom's sudden character shift towards a kind of good guy by a simple throwaway line.
I'm kind of a loser myself.
Yeah, that's it. And that's just ridiculous. I can live with the film's trashy nature, but you have to at least give us some engaging characters and story arcs. The movie is also contradicting itself at several points. In one scene, Venom tells Eddie he knows everything about him. In the very next, he has no clue who N is. It's also a big element of the story that those symbiotes can't attach themselves to just anybody. They need the right host, and that's something that's apparently extremely rare. But when the story needs it, chance has it that two characters, besides Eddie of course, are also fitting. Unfortunately, the film isn't really tense either. The dialogues, characters and directions are mostly stupid. The CGI varies from very impressive to baffling, and since they dropped the R rating for PG-13, it's also way too bloodless for its own identity. So in German I'd say, mit Venom kann man zwar durchaus seinen Spaß haben, was vor allem an Tom Hardys zügelloser Performance und dem verrückten Hin und Her zwischen Eddie und seinem Parasiten liegt. Insgesamt ist der Film aber schon ziemlicher Trash, der an allen Ecken und Enden schwächelt. Die Story ist 0815, die Charaktere schwach geschrieben und wirklich frisch ist hier nichts. I give Venom 5 out of 10. It's more like 5.2.
But I don't do that.
Why would we do that?
I haven't done this in a long time, but whenever a movie scores less than 6, I give you 3 better flicks. And since I want to stay true to our Halloween Horror Month spirit, all of them will fit the bill. My first pick is John Carpenter's 1982 classic The Thing. And I think the Venom connection should be obvious. The next pick is honoring the Daywalker himself, one of the first Marvel adaptations, Blade. And last but certainly not least, another tormented anti-hero that embraces the dark twisted humor, Sam Raimi's Darkman.
Thank the fucking elephant.
Alright, that's it like always. Comment below and let me know what you think about Venom. And also let me know what is your favorite Tom Hardy performance. You might also check out my other Halloween Horror Month reviews here on the channel. And also you can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram simply at TheJimmyCage. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for life to tell.